Hi there, BookTube. I'm sharing my first ever unboxing. I will get out of the picture here so that I can fit better in here. Oh, it's a little in here. A little better in here myself. And as I said, it is my first video ever. I never did this kind of haul before. I'm not sure how it is going, but I have this huge box on my lap now to go through with you guys to show you which books I bought for myself for my birthday, which is actually today when I'm posting this. So yay, happy birthday to me, which is fantastic. I love getting older. It is always something that I enjoy because it is just not something you should take for granted. So getting a year more is just something quite precious, and it is wonderful to get older, and you all should just be so happy for every year you have with everybody around you. And now that I rambled on about that without meaning to, and about something you guys are not here to hear about, I bought those books here for myself because I do not get books for my birthday. People just don't get me books anymore. I just buy the books myself. Oh, that was quite something. The first book on top of here that I see is The Age of Miracles by Karen Thompson Walker, and this book is a science fiction or maybe even dystopian book about a world where the world starts to slow down in its rotation, so days and nights grow longer and longer, and gravity is starting to be affected, and the environment is just thrown completely in disarray. And between the entire disastrous setting, we follow a girl and her family's life, and just how it affects them and their life, that the world is slowing down. And the cover is beautiful, and I heard about this book and just wanted to read it and own it since then. It is not a very big book, so I'm very excited to see how the author managed to write a book that is not huge about this topic, and it is a standalone. So very excited to see how she does it, how she handles the story, and yeah, just so the next is actually a book set that was on there, and this is, it is all nicely, so let me just try breaking in here. This first box set is the Professor Moriarty series, the first 3 novels of that by Michael Kurland, and this I have here the Infernal Devices, Death by Gaslight, and the last one in this set was Who Thinks Evil. And they are all drawn. They will look beautiful on the shelves. And then this is a spin on clearly the Sherlock Holmes tales, as you can guess from the name of the series, where Moriarty is the kind of the type of hero where his organization of crime is used in different ways, and I think in positive ways some way, and I think he also works rather reluctantly with Sherlock Holmes together throughout some of the books. So I really love Sherlock Holmes. I really love spins on the story. I love reading different Sherlock Holmes tales, and this is supposed to be a really nicely done one. And going with the theme of Sherlock Holmes, I also got another spin-off, and that is Dr. Watson, which are Dr. Watson thrillers by Robert Ryan. And this is, as I said, another spin-off of Sherlock Holmes. This follows John Watson, and his life before and after Sherlock Holmes, I think. And once again, it is a set. They don't want to come out are the Death Can Wait, Death Man's Land, and A Study in Murder. And if I'm not mistaken, Death Man's Land is the first book in the series. This spin-off series just follows Watson while he investigates on the front and behind the lines during World War I. And I don't know if Sherlock Holmes himself will be in the books or not, but I think the covers are quite beautifully done, very fitting to the type of story it is, I'm sure. And I'm very excited to get into all 6 of them and see what kind of different spin on Sherlock Holmes' story those 2 have to offer, because I think they will be completely different from each other. Not just because one follows Moriarty, which is the bad guy, and one follows the partner, the friend, the companion of Sherlock Holmes, but I just think 2 authors writing a different kind of spin-off will just give a very different point of view to that story. So I'm very excited to get into that. And then I have another set, and that is the Cage of Muttons set. And I have the House at Riverton, the Lake House, and the Secret Key? I think so. Anyway, all 3 of those are historical fiction mystery books. Just seems to be the theme by Cage of Muttons. That is her writing style, I think. It was the easiest to get out of the package. And this first one here, The House at Riverton, is, I think, her debut novel, and it is set in England between the 2 world wars, if I'm not mistaken, and it follows an aristocratic family house. And I think there is a mysterious murder involved. I don't know more about it, but I wanted to give it a try, and we'll see what I think. And then I have the Lake House, which I think is her newest release. I could be mistaken about that. She could have had another new release, but since then, but I think this is her newest one, and this takes place during 2 different times, I think in the 1930s and 2000. I could be wrong. This is another historical fiction mystery kind of book, and I will see what it is all about when I read it once again. And lastly, I have here The Secret Keeper. I'm not sure why on here it doesn't say The Secret Keeper, but that's fine. I don't need the keeper on here. That is why I said The Secret Key, because it didn't have the keeper on there. But anyway, this is set during a summer party at a family farm, and a 16-year-old girl witnesses a shocking crime. That is at least what it says on here, and I think it is once again split into 2 different times, one in somewhere early middle 19 something and 2000, I think. Not sure. Once again, I will read it and report back. And the last box set, or not box set, the last set I got is from Caitlin Tisaro. Not sure how to say her name. It is another historical fiction set, and I just love getting those books in those sets because they're pretty inexpensive, and where I live, they're really, really expensive to get this kind of historical fiction, so I love the sets. I know this author is one of those authors that you either love or hate apparently, and it is not the best loved author here on the internet, but I just keep getting drawn to her books. The first book is The Perfume Collector, and this book is set in Paris and in London, I think, in 1950, about a woman that received an unexpected inheritance from a stranger, and something happens through that, and I just think it sounds really interesting, and I just kind of like the covers. It's very strange. I'm normally not a huge fan of covers with people on them, but I just think those covers are kind of interesting. So I have that one, and I also have The Debutante, and this is about an exiled woman that has to leave New York and is sent to a house in the southwest coast of England, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, where she comes across a box of some kind which contains mysterious objects, I think from the 30s or 20s, 40s, not sure, somewhere around that time, and she just tries to figure out what those mysteries are and figure them out, and I will see when I read it. And the last one I have in that set is Elegance. This book is about a woman that wishes she just could be elegant, and on the back it says Audrey Hepburn had it, Grace Kelly had it, Louise Canterville does not. Elegance, that is. And I just think that sounds really interesting. I know that in this book, the woman, Louise Canevor, she finds this old book in a secondhand bookshop called Elegance, which is written by this French fashion expert from times ago. And he just gives all those ideas and tips to be elegant, and she starts to follow after them, and how her life changes with that, and how this woman transforms into something else. And I just think that sounds really good. And I heard that this book is this view into sometimes you work for something and really want to get it, and then you get it and you notice that maybe it's not what you want. So I just think that sounds really good, and why not give something else, something different a try. And then is a different kind of book that is normally shown here on booktube, and that is Galaxy, which I don't think has a specific author. It is published by Collins, and it is just this really beautiful book all about our galaxy. Nice pictures from our planets, which I just think is really interesting, and I will see if that really is true or not when I get to it. But I just saw it, it was fantastically priced, and yeah, it's a beautiful book, so why not give it a try? And those were all the books I got for myself for my birthday, which is quite enough. I have a stack sitting right here next to me. It's quite a stack, so clearly I got enough books for myself. As always, I would love to hear if you read any of those books and which book you think I should pick up right away, so please let me know that. I would love to know what you thought about this kind of unboxing thing. I would also love to hear if you guys get books for your birthdays, because I would love to know if it is a bit strange that I don't get any, because I always find it a bit strange that nobody gets me books anymore. And a little bit sad, because I love getting books. I just love books, so getting them is always the best. But I just would love to hear if you guys get books for your birthdays, and if you do, how that works. If you give people a list of books, or if they just decide to get you something. And please let me know how your birthday books are getting to you. I would love to hear that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you in my next video, or chatting with you guys in the comments. Bye!